congratulations to our next guest calling in right now. His book on Durant, Kevin Durant's Relentless Pursuit to Be the Greatest, is being released today from The Athletic. Bay Area columnist Marcus Thompson. How are you, Marcus?
What's up? I'm a little excited today.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's a big game tonight, Marcus. You know, and I kind of love the fact that Dame is coming home to the spot where he grew up. He grew up in Oracle. He told a great story about the old mascot and his memories of going back there. This is a fun matchup, I think, we're getting tonight.
Oh, man, I'm so into this Dame coming home. You know, I'm from Oakland. I grew up very close to where Dame lived, maybe about 5 part. So I know, like, as one who's from here, like, I feel like this is so fitting. Like, this means the world to us from Oakland, that when they turn out the lights at Oracle, like, Damian Lillard will get to sign his name on the roof before it goes. Like, that's so cool to me. Like, it's so epic that someone who grew up here, and, you know, basketball's huge here, especially even in high school. So we've watched all these stars over the years, like, make their name, and we followed their careers. And it's fitting that Dame is the last one from Oakland to play in Oracle. Like, that's just so cool to me.
Well, I mean, also, he could turn the lights on in a place. I mean, he and the Blazers have that opportunity, certainly if Durant is out for a considerable amount of time. Let's get to that part. What can you tell me about Durant's availability in this series, Marcus?
I don't think we see him before the series shifts to Portland. I don't think he plays the first 2 games. Steve Kerr said he hasn't even taken the court yet. Like, he's not shooting, he's not running. His calf is still giving him pain. So I don't see it. Maybe in Portland they can kind of like, you know, bring him in, so to speak, like, see how it goes. I think he doesn't play until a loss happens for the Warriors. If Portland sneaks one, it turns up the clock. But if they don't lose, then I don't think he comes back, because they still need to get him on the court to practice, and he hasn't even touched the court yet.
Well, and in terms of that, too, about needing him, right? And you're pointing out how if the Blazers draw blood sooner than expected, even without Durant, obviously, the way that the pre-Durant Warriors showed up to close out the Rockets, that the idea that we're seeing in the conversation throughout the nation is that the Warriors don't need Durant, and this is an indication of him getting ready to leave to get his own situation. Let's dive into that one. First and foremost, in your latest column about from a couple days ago that I was reading about, the Warriors speak so highly of Durant. Give us a glimpse into how Durant has woven himself into the fabric of this team, Marcus.
You know, really, these playoffs, there's been like an uptick, really the last month of the season, where it's almost like they all just decided to flip a switch and be the most together team they could be. And it hasn't been that way. It's been rocky. It's been up and down. Like, the effort has waned. The connectivity has waned. Obviously, they had their blow-up in November between Durant and Draymond. Like, they've had a lot of issues. But then in, like, March, suddenly, like, they were all in. And now there's this harmonious locker room. It was amazing to me. Like, everyone was talking about how, oh, this is a throwback, right? These are the real Warriors. They don't need Durant. And they were in the locker room saying, oh, yeah, we need him. We had to win this game so we could get our guy back. So it's really it's been unique. I don't think this has been it hasn't been like this since maybe year one, that they're all kind of like in love with each other and like playing for each other. Yesterday in the film session, KD was the most vocal one. Like, he was in there talking. He was into it. They're into him. He's into them. It's probably not a good sign for people who are like wanting him to go to New York, but at minimum, they're like, look, if this is our last run, let's make it a good one. You kind of get that sense from them.
So then can you, Marcus Thompson of The Athletic here on the Rich Eisen Show, can you pinpoint or give us anything from behind the scenes as to when this harmoniousness arrived and why and how it could last, regardless if Durant doesn't somehow, for whatever reason, return to action?
So I think it began. It was middle of March. The Warriors lost to Dallas. I don't remember the exact date, but they got blown out by Dallas at home. And it was kind of a low point, because they were supposed to be like, all right, now it's playoffs near, let's turn it up. They're supposed to be flipping the switch and getting ready to go. and Steph was out, and they got blown out in Dallas, and Durant went 9 for 25. And like the next few games after that, he stopped shooting. He was really becoming like a floor general, and he was running point, and he's passing the ball. And for these 3 years, the conversation has been about like getting rid of the ISO and getting him into like the Warrior style of basketball, movement and flow. So during that stretch, he became like the point guard for it. Like Steph was off the ball, Clay was off the ball, and it was a lot of KD being a facilitator. And I think he was kind of saying, "All right, let's go all in this way. Then let's just do this." And then they faced the Clippers, and they needed him to kind of carry the show. And I think you started hearing people say he's the best player in the world. He's the best player in the world when he's dropping 50 a night. It feels like during that March, April, they all kind of decided like, hey, this dude is really he's really buying in. He's really like promoting the style of basketball we play. And look at what he's doing. Like even Steph Curry is calling him the best player in the league. So they all have kind of anointed him. The transition of power, so to speak, from Steph to Kevin Durant. It just feels like it was organic. But I remember when it began in March, and it's interesting. I think they're ready to say this is our future. I think this might even be their pitch, right? Like, look, this is how it's going to be if you stay inside. Like the subliminal pitch. We will be great. This is, you're the man. We're here supporting you. Like we got players, like all of us together are great. Even if you're the top dog, it's fine. I think that's how they've been, and it's going to be a great sales pitch for when it's time for him to make a decision.
And one more on this subject before we turn to the series itself. Again, Marcus Thompson of The Athletic. And again, your new book on Durant, KD, Kevin Durant's relentless pursuit to be the greatest, being released today. So knowing Kevin as you do, how do you think he views this? Do you think he views it like saying, hey, the guys, I get along with them. They love me. They respect me. They know they need me. But, hey, I don't need to be in a situation where it all falls apart if I leave. I'm glad to be in a spot where I can still win a title potentially, even if my right calf does give way at the most inopportune time. Or the ping pong balls bounce tonight. Zion winds up in the hands of the Knicks. And he realizes that there's a legacy building opportunity there that's even better than staying put and starting a new regime in a gorgeous spot. Michael Wilbon told us about this new arena that's amazing. Which way do you think he leans, knowing him as you do?
It's a tough call because Kevin Durant is a very multifaceted dude. Like, there's a part of him that just loves the essence of basketball and the purity of it and the team element and the camaraderie. Like he is sappy about that stuff. He loves it. Like he's a purist in that sense. It's one of the reasons he came to the Warriors. So this is kind of that euphoria now, like that they're experiencing. Like everybody's playing like a team. Everybody's like unselfish. Everybody's playing their role, and they like each other. As Steph calls it, they're vibing right now. They got a really good vibe. Like he loves that stuff. But then there's also the Kevin Durant who like feels like everybody needs to recognize how good he is, and he's not stopping until we all say uncle, right? So the question becomes which wins out, right? Which is the most important thing to him? That's the thing I think we don't know yet. We don't know of all these things that matter to him. Which is the most important and which one decides. And maybe this time he came to the Warriors, that was for the basketball purity part. And maybe this decision isn't that. Like, we don't know. But he definitely has these elements to him where you could say, yeah, I can see him wanting to do that. Yeah, I can see him wanting to do that. And right now he's a little bit, he's not playing, but he's a little bit in basketball heaven because, ever since Patrick Beverly was supposedly, shut him down.
Right.
And he said, "I'm Kevin Durant. Y'all know who I am."
Right.
Like it's been sixth gear, and they've been in like basketball nirvana.
Yeah, I'm nice, right? When he says I'm nice, when he's just
I'm nice.
Yeah,
right?
he's dropping.
Y'all know who I am.
He's dropping 50. Hey, look, I think he's the most valuable player in the league, and I think he'd be nuts to leave a situation like this. And I know that, these guys have been around each other for a while, and like many marriages, it takes a village to keep it moving forward. But that's for another day. Let's talk about tonight then, and the opportunity in front of Oakland native Dame Lillard and this team with McCollum playing flawless basketball to help close out the Nuggets down 3-2. What do you think of the Blazers' opportunity here to actually shock the world and get this done?
I think it starts with tonight. I think game one is their shot. And look, the Warriors all year have been known to let their hair down, right? Put their feet up and chill a little bit. And coming off that emotional series they had with the Rockets, like, this is a trap game for them. Like, this is one of those games where they just might not have it. They might not have the legs. They might not have the energy. And Portland can pounce. Only problem is Portland might be tired too, right? They just came off their own 7-game series. I do think in the end, and these series are all about like talent, like the best team wins. The Warriors just have more talent, and the worst part for Portland is that their strength is also the Warriors' strength, and the Warriors' strength is better. Like, they got a backcourt that's incredible, and the Warriors' backcourt is also incredible with 3 championships. So they're going to be in a tough spot, but if you can shoot like they can, if you can make threes like they can, and you can run, they have a puncher's chance. But they got to get that. They got to land tonight. I think if they lose game one and let the Warriors get their bearings and come back for game two, and now you start talking about when does Durant come back because they still have that ace in the hole. That's a tough one. It's a tough road for Portland in this situation, especially without Nurkic, because the big man is really what causes the Warriors problems.
Right. And is Durant going to be there tonight? You think he's there physically?
I think he is at the game. I think he will be there.
Right.
He might not be on the bench, but he's usually in the back. He's usually kind of waiting. I think he'll be there. He ain't playing, but
no, I know that, but I just wanted, obviously him getting out there and like physically being there and on the bench would make for an interesting visual that I'm trying to put in the mind's eye.
I'm telling you, he loves that stuff. I don't see him missing it. Like, he loves it. He loves it, like the whole rah-rah, weird team. Like, he loves that stuff.
And then one last thing for you, Marcus, since, again, you mentioned that you are from the Oakland area. Just give voice to what it's like right now. The Raiders are leaving. They're going to Vegas. We're seeing that thing going up. The Warriors are going across the bay. They'll still be in the area, but they're not going to be in Oakland anymore. What's going through the minds of the Oakland sports fan with Dame coming home and and Oracle maybe getting closed out in this round, if not, then the next?
I think there's this like clinging to the native athlete. I think we all are like feeling a little bit jilted and a little bit like disrespected, and we already have that chip on our shoulder anyway, right? That's like being in the shadows of San Francisco kind of creates a chip for you. So I do feel like the fact that the Warriors chose San Francisco and the fact that the Raiders are running Las Vegas makes us like we're in our feelings for sure, right? But that's where we celebrate, the players who are from here, and that's why Dame has really kind of stepped forward as the face of the city. And Marshawn Lynch, like, people are begging him to come back and play one more year, even though the rumor is he's retiring. But those players who come from this soil are meaning a lot more, knowing that the landscape is about to change forever. So we are all a little like, all right, well, at least we still got Dame, right? At least we still got Marcus Peters. And those guys are about to become like local celebrities like they never were, just because the teams are leaving and the landscape is changing. And that's in addition to the city changing, right? When you start talking about the price to live here and how people are having to flee because they can't afford it. Like these are interesting times in Oakland that I'm hoping somebody chronicles in a major way in a book somewhere.
Marcus, congrats on your book, KD, Kevin Durant's Relentless Pursuit to be the Greatest. Enjoyed this chat. Let's do it again real soon.
Thanks, Rich. Appreciate it.
You bet. At Thompson Scribe on Twitter, and that's his Instagram, at Thompson_scribe on Twitter.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live, or download The Rich Eisen Show app.